Welcome once again to this series of interview that we are talking with the greatest trombone players around the world. Today we have the amazing opportunity to talk with the one and only Vanessa Fralick. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. We are getting into summer, so everything is getting really happy here.
Yeah,
So,
here too.
tell me, now you are located in Toronto.
I am, yes.
Yes, I got it. Finally, I thought it was good. Tell me, Vanessa, how is things are going there in Canada with all the quarantine, lockdown, and
Well, there's like a little bit of resistance and a little bit of people not following the guidelines, but I think overall there's a good feeling of solidarity, and people are trying to be very respectful of each other, and it's getting better here, and they're starting to open some things up, which kind of worries me. It seems like very soon to be doing that, but also I hope for my own industry that that's a good indication that things will return to normal eventually.
when was your last concert, Vanessa?
Well, we had a rehearsal on March 13th, and then the concert that weekend was canceled after the rehearsal. So I think our last concert was the week before that. We did an all John Williams concert.
Like Star Wars and this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
The movie, film music.
Yeah, all film music.
I see a trombone behind you. Next question is, how things are going with the trombone nowadays?
For me, they're going pretty well. Yeah, it's been actually really nice in some ways to have the time to kind of no stress of performance and just do all the basics, all the maintenance stuff that we don't always have as much time as we'd like for when you're working full time. And for me personally, I over the last couple of years, I had dealt with some, like, I'm sure you've heard of brass players having hesitation issues, like Valsalva maneuver, things like that. So I had a little bit of that. So, and it's tough to be trying to work through that and also play in orchestra and teach and do solos, which I'd been managing fairly well. But now I feel like I've really had time to tackle feeling a lot stronger in my own playing. So
I saw some posts of, I think, your colleagues and you as well playing on the street. Tell me something.
Oh, yeah.
In some quartet, quintet.
Yeah. Well, I think what you saw probably was this little neighborhood band that we call like a social distancing band. And it formed out of the blue. It was maybe the first week of quarantine, and I was sitting in this room with my boyfriend. We were having some cocktails on Zoom with some friends. And at about 7:30, we started to hear brass music from down the street. And so we were like, we have to go investigate. And we ran outside, and it was March. It was pretty cold, but we ran down the street, and it turned out it was a dad who's an amateur trombone player, and his two high school sons, and they are like beginner tuba and trumpet. And they had just decided, so you know how at like in the evening every night people go out and they bang pots and pans to support frontline workers and healthcare workers. So they decided, well, we've got instruments, we're gonna play a song every night. So they played one song, and so we said, well, can we come play with you sometime? And we said, we play in a band normally too. And they said, what band? And we said, well, the Toronto Symphony. And they were like, okay, sure, come play with us anytime. So then we ended up playing with them every night since, and we're on concert number 66 every night.
Concert.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just this week, one of the neighbors made a Facebook post that went viral. So all of a sudden, we have like the local news outlets are,
I think that
filming us.
I saw some Canadian news. The musician of the orchestra, they're playing on the street together with someone playing something like it was really nice.
Yeah, so it's just all people that live on the street, and then all the neighbors come out and cheer, and it's been really. And we only moved to this neighborhood just over a year ago, so we hadn't met any of the neighbors, and now we know everybody. It's really nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice opportunity to meet all of them. Really nice. Vanessa, what about motivation? I guess playing those kind of concerts with your new friends,
yeah,
it gets you really like happy, motivated with the trombone, on shape, you can say.
Yeah, it's something every day, and it's playing for people every day, which is what we all love to do. And so at least I get a little bit of that. But I really do miss playing. Like, I miss my section so much. I miss playing with my trombone section in the symphony. I miss playing with my quartet, and just playing with people that are professionals and that you're used to playing with every day,
and you
have
see
a really
them
close connection with.
Yeah, must be difficult. What is the thing that you are missing the most nowadays?
Probably that, yeah. Getting to play great music with people, and it's what I worked really hard for a long time, and I feel like a lot of people get a job in an orchestra and then they can become a little bit jaded. Like, there's that old saying, maybe you don't have it where you live, but people say, how do you get a musician to complain? Give them a job, right?
Because they have a really job and then you keep complaining.
And then you still find things to complain about. Yeah. Even though you have this job that was like your biggest goal for years and you try so hard for. And so I feel like I tried really hard to not get to the point of feeling, bitter, like still remembering how much I wanted it. And so I really miss it.
And I don't know what, but you are playing this orchestra since when, more or less?
Since 2013.
Okay. And you are also original from Canada, right?
I am, yeah, just like 1 hour from Toronto.
Nice. You are missing your colleagues. You are missing your daily routine. What else? Having a beer with colleagues, playing abroad, touring, travel.
Yeah. Well, my family, for sure. It'd be nice to be able to visit my parents and grandparents, and just seeing friends in person. I think you can burn out pretty quickly on phone calls and Zoom chats. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, we are here in Italy, I think 90 days already in quarantine. What about you guys there?
Well, March 14th was our first day of things being shut down. So
yeah, more or less.
Whoever's good at math can figure
10.
that out.
Okay.
I'm a musician.
Me too. I'm not too really good in math. What do you think now? First thing that comes up into your mind, you will do after this quarantine ends?
Oh, well, hopefully travel again.
What's gonna be the first step?
In traveling?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just, I think about traveling a lot. There's so many places in the world I'd love to go, and the first step will be picking one. Yeah.
If you can pick 3 places that you really, really want to go.
Well, actually, Italy, I'd love to go back to.
You are welcome here in Milan.
Yeah. Austria, I'd love to spend some time in the summer in Austria or in the winter skiing, either. And then my boyfriend and I have talked about wanting to go to Vietnam as well.
Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. You pick up really different places. Nice, but I think food is better here in Italy, for sure. If you like that stuff.
It's definitely one of your strengths. Yes.
Not Italian, but and one of the things that they really like here in Italy. I moved here since September, so I was in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Vanessa, nowadays you are playing in the street with some colleagues or friends, workmates, and music all around the world is getting really, for example, here people is playing in the street. People in the balconies crying because they are listening to some brass players playing in the street. They are listening to some people singing. So, for example, nowadays music is getting really important for people. I don't know. What do you think? People will appreciate a little bit more music after this period?
Well, I think the nice thing about this situation is it's showing how relevant the arts are and how vital they are, and you take away other comforts, other distractions, and that's what we're still able to create and we're still able to appreciate, and people find any way of getting it and making it, and I hope we'll be able, I think people will appreciate more when it can be done at an even higher level again, and they'll be able to hear it live, and maybe these little snippets, these little bits of music that they get in this time, they'll have a stronger connection with music emotionally when they hear it again later on.
That's really true. Getting into the trombone, daily routine on the trombone. What are you doing at home? They are not used to playing for your own, for your boyfriend, for people that is next to you. I see also a stand behind you, like you had before this period. You had like a.
Yeah, I promise I didn't set this up just to like make it seem like I practice. I do sometimes actually practice.
Happy if I ask you, Vanessa, can you play something for us? Are you?
Maybe. I got summer chops. Well, I'm really lucky that my boyfriend is a principal horn player in our orchestra. So we sometimes, we play duets or record some music together every day, and he plays in the band with me. And, it kind of helps us keep each other motivated, because one of us goes down into the basement to practice, and usually he's in the basement and I play up here, and we can both practice at the same time, which is nice. And you know that you haven't gone completely off the deep end in terms of intonation, because you still have somebody to check in with every day, which is nice. One thing that was really crucial was right when this happened, I had been already really wanting to get a piano. We didn't have a piano. So we were able to get one after about 3 weeks of quarantine. We found somebody a 5-minute drive away that was selling an apartment-sized piano. So I have a piano now to play, so sometimes I'll record myself playing accompaniments to stuff that's easy enough for me to get through on piano, and then I'll play it over these are actually speakers here, these giant things.
Speakers? And, you can connect to put a metronome or a live music there. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I wish the room was bigger. They're definitely designed for a bigger space, but yeah, they're from the 1980s. When I moved back to Toronto, I bought them from my dad. He was upgrading, so he gave me a good deal on them, and they're really one nice.
To the left, and the other one is
the corner. There and there. Mm-hmm.
Wow, must sound really amazing.
Yeah, they're nice. I grew up with them in my living room as a little kid. My dad's a trombone player too, so he'd always be playing.
That's class.
And he's definitely an audiophile as well, so he's got tons of records and always has them on. Yeah, so I can get it going pretty loud and play along with things. But mainly right now, I feel like I'm getting to the place where I want to set some bigger goals and some more specific goals. But so far, I've just been trying to set very achievable small goals. And I feel like if you set too big of goals and you're not emotionally prepared to deal with completely new lifestyle that is COVID, it can be discouraging. So I've just been trying to set very manageable, small goals. Like, I'm gonna have a great focused warm up today, and if I don't get anything else done today, that's okay. Or I'm gonna have a great warm up, and then I'm gonna do one more hour of some sort of playing, or play duets for an hour. And I've done a few little videos for work. I did a video with my quartet, but I haven't done too much output. Like, it's amazing to see what some people are putting out right now, with all of this going on. And right now I'm working on a video that all of my students from the University of Toronto recorded their parts for the Bruckner Motet in Veni David, and so I'm trying to learn how to use a program to make the video. But yeah, playing wise, just kind of making sure that I do the basics of maintenance, and then just playing music for fun. So like revisiting old concertos and solos that I love playing, and that sort of thing.
We're talking a bit about goals. Nowadays, as you said, it's difficult to get like long-term goals. Mm-hmm. Mainly we have like short-term goals. Okay, today I wanna practice David. Tomorrow I wanna practice the last page of David, for example. Today we'll do one exercise of Bordoni. Are you working in the same way?
Well, like I said, so far I haven't been practicing as if I have a big performance coming up, or as if I'm working towards an audition or a recital. I've just been like, right now the goal is just to play and to enjoy playing. And I think it's kind of a nice, that's what's nice about this time, is like, you don't have the pressure of upcoming performances. So you really can play what you love. Like, I can play whatever I want to play today. I don't have to work on, I don't know, what my students are some solo I don't really enjoy, or learn new music. I can just, nothing against new music, but I can play whatever I want to play, and on my own time and without a deadline. So I think now that I'm getting used to this pace of life, and I feel like I have that under control, I'm on the verge of starting to set some more serious playing goals.
Nice.
But I do think that's really important. Normally I'm very goal oriented, and I think it's so important to write them down, and I think it's really important to have goals of different lengths, so that you're not, you have where you want to be in a year or in 5 years, but you also have what you want to be able to do in 2 weeks, so that you don't feel like you're falling short of your goals.
Yeah, really true. Totally agree. Vanessa, what about your equipment that are you using at the moment?
Well, luckily nothing has fallen apart yet, because we have like one great brass repair person in Toronto, and I think he's reopening his shop next week, luckily. So I play a Shire's trombone, and I play basically the same trombone that I bought when I was just finishing high school. Same bell, and I love it. I'm not a big equipment person. I've been really happy with this horn.
Actually, I wanted
my job on it.
Equipment to record yourself, to do some edition.
Oh, recording equipment.
Like a microphone, for example. Are you using a proper Zoom?
Yeah, so I bought one of these little blue snowflakes on a trumpet player in Canadian brass. Made a little video about sort of helping you get set up on Zoom for teaching, and he recommended that microphone. So that's a new addition. I find it's not great quality for recording myself. Like, it's good for this sort of thing. So for that, I've been using my Zoom, my old H2 Zoom that I've had for a decade, and it still works great.
For the video as well on your iPhone, and then you do like a mix?
Yeah, so I've done iPhone just straight up, and then I've done a couple where I've done a mix of iPhone and Zoom.
that works for you fine to do this kind of recordings?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for example, we have to get into the new beginning, I can call it new beginning. Why? Because we have to stay at home, play on our own. Playing. My girlfriend is also a trumpet player, so we do actually the same thing that you are doing.
Oh, nice.
It's those kind of stuff. And but I wanted to say that in the future we will become a YouTuber, or we will become a video maker or a sound engineer, not just a trombone player. You know?
It's definitely forcing us all into the future a little bit faster than some of us intended. Yeah.
Kind of a new era.
Yeah. But it's also showing, like, if you really just try to do these things, it's not necessarily as daunting as it might have seemed when you're doing it out of necessity. Yeah, and I had done Skype lessons in the past, like mainly as a student. I had taken Skype lessons with people. So it's, yeah, I haven't done a lot of teaching since this started. And it's, it's really not a replacement. I think for none of this replaces live music or live in-person lessons or chamber music, but it is amazing how connected we can be with what people are doing all around the world, and it's inspiring.
How are you dealing with your students? You said you are the teacher in a conservatorium in.
Yeah, I'm one of the professors at University of Toronto. So one of my main things that I do there is I run the trombone studio class and the trombone choir. So we have this video project that they've all sent me their videos already, and I'm working on it. But otherwise, we haven't really had, once we went lockdown, they just ended the university year, basically. As far as music is concerned, there were still some things for other courses, but all concerts, recitals, lessons were canceled, which is really a shame for the students. I know if I had been a student when this happened, I would have been devastated. I think it must be so frustrating to feel like you're getting that momentum as a student, and maybe you have a big summer festival that you got into, and then just nothing. That would have killed me as a student.
Yeah, very true. Are you working in the way that your students send you a video and then you discuss the video? Are you doing some Zoom lessons, live lessons?
I've only done a couple Zoom lessons, and then I've talked to my students about, I think in the summer we're going to start doing more lessons to gear up for the fall once we know a little bit better what's going to happen.
And that's fine for you?
Yeah.
How's the way that you can judge your student? Like, for example, one of your best students, and the day after you can hear him, you can hear her on Zoom. How for you is to judge a trumpet student live or in a recording? It's not going to be 100% fine, I believe.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like you can judge fairly well, but then it's hard to, sometimes in a lesson you get something just a little bit better, and so it's hard to hear online if you've got that little bit, and it's hard to demonstrate where you want them to get to. So that's what I find the most difficult, is not knowing, like in a live lesson, even if there's like just a little bit of progress, it's great. It can be a big change, and it can be a big, I think it can accelerate the learning curve after that, even if you just are able to get it a little bit better in that lesson. So it's hard to get that piece happening.
For example, one of my students said, a live lesson, oh, sorry, I was practicing at home, I was perfect, but here it's 50% okay, So now it's like, okay, now you're at home, you have to play perfect because you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny to think about the student.
No excuses.
Nowadays there are no excuses. I think, Vanessa, we are going to the end of this really nice talking. But thanks, I really appreciate it. To steal half an hour of your really busy schedule today.
Yeah, it was hard to find time, yes, but we did.
But finally, we got it. Vanessa, tell me about. I think you are in the staff of online trombone competition.
I am, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I'm one of the judges, so I'm not working too hard yet. But I think
you will.
Once the submissions happen, then there's going to be a very intensive week of listening to everything. Yeah.
Because here, Sultan, he sent a message, greetings from Vienna, and not from Vietnam. At the beginning, I would like to go to Vietnam. It was a joke minutes ago. And the last question, Vanessa, I will tell you because I think after half an hour, I know you a little bit, really a bit. Mm-hmm. And I will ask you 5 things, and you have to reply with just one word. For example, if I tell you trombone, and you say beer. Wow. And actually, you are the first.
It's really hot. Sorry, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Good. Best answer ever. Okay, we start all over again. Okay, thing.
Seriously.
Orchestra.
Mahler.
Wow. Family.
I don't know. I think of my dad, I guess. Very close to my dad.
Future.
Future?
Future.
Beautiful.
Toronto.
You know, it's a caring city. I feel like people really are there and they care for each other.
One word about Toronto.
Caring.
Caring. And the last one, really important for us, beer.
What would I say to beer?
Just one word.
Chug?
Okay. I think you are the most clever person in this kind of series of interview. They were saying a lot.
I've been practicing for this interview.
Nice. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Vanessa, for your time. Thanks for being with us today.
Nice to meet you.
To meet you too. Thank people for Instagram. I will disconnect the thing. Okay. It will be later on Instagram TV, something like that. Now I will disconnect on Facebook and we stay for more minutes on Zoom to end it up. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Ciao, people from Facebook. There were more greetings from Domingo Pagliuca. Greetings. Okay.
Hi, Domingo.
All right.